welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be creating this cards design in Figma. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with a frame. So I'm just going to come over to here and I'm going to select, we want to use a desktop frame. So I'm going to select this default desktop frame, click on it, and then I can insert a frame. Next up, let's change the fill. The fill for this is going to be FFF7EF. Then I'm going to add a layout guide. So I'm going to come over to layout guide, add layout guide. Let's change it to columns and let's change the settings. So we'll make the number of columns 12 and we'll make the margin 120. All other settings remain the same. I can just go ahead and close it. Let's get closer. Next up is our text. So I'm just going to click on T and I'm going to grab my text here. So this is going to be the heading for this section. So I'm going to paste and I'm going to change the typography of this font. So let's come over to typography, go over to font, and we are going to change this to Cherry Bomb 1. The size is going to be 50 and the line height is going to be 56. I'm going to zoom out. Let me reduce it. I want this to look like this. So we have sweet treats on top and then we have made with love at the bottom. I'm going to change the alignment of the text to center. Now let's change the color of our text. I'm going to select this top section that has sweet treats. Let's change the fill to 4D, 2D, 1C. And the bottom text, I'm going to select it. Let's change the color to FD 6586. All right. Next, I just want to make sure that this text is aligned to the center. I'm just going to create a copy of this text box so I can reuse it. Let's change the typography of this new text box. Go over to font. We'll change this to Nunito. Nunito. The size is going to be 20 and line height is going to be 28. I'm just going to remove this text because I just want our text to be this brown color. I'm going to grab my remaining text, sub this text. I'm going to paste it. So I'm going to hold Alt and I'm just going to increase the width of this so that it covers a total of 6 columns. So let me make sure. I want it to go across. I'll just reduce it. I want it to go across 6 columns. Now I'm going to select both of them, make it an auto layout, and the gap between two of them is going to be 20. And I'm also going to change the spacing between the top of our frame and the top of our auto layout of our frame. So it's currently 90. I want it to be 80. So I'm going to just increase it till the space between the top of our frame and the top of our title is going to be 80. Now we can move on to create our cards. We're going to start with a rectangle. I'm going to click on R, so I'll insert a rectangle and just draw one here. Next up, I'm just going to change the width of this rectangle to 57 and the height I'm going to make 334. 334. Let's get closer. So I'm going to get closer till I have these 4 dots here, which is the radius. I'm going to select any one of them and just drag till the corner of our rectangle is completely rounded. So for every rectangle, depending on the size, it's going to change. So for this particular one, it's 28.5. That is the corner radius to have this shape. I'm going to duplicate this 4 different times so we can have a total of 5. So I'm just going to hold Alt and Shift to create another copy while keeping it aligned. 3, 4, and 5. And now we have a total of 5 of these rectangles. I'm going to select all of them and then I'm going to come over to this merge options and then I'm going to use union, and this is now going to become a single shape. Let's change the fill of this new shape. I'm going to come over to fill, and I'm going to change the fill to FF D6 DE. And this is the color of our shape. Next up is going to be our image. I'm going to grab this image. The link for all of these images is going to be in the description, as well as the text used in this video. I'm going to grab the image and I'm just going to bring it here. Let me change the width of this image to 170. And the height is currently 212. So I want it to be 120. So I'm going to double click so I can crop it, and I'm going to raise this up so that it's up to 120. And I'm just going to hold shift and then move this image so that I can realign it. And I want it to, let's say, something like this. I just want to make sure we have at least most of our image within the frame. All right, this looks good. I'm just going to click on escape to close that dialog. Next, let me just drag this image over this rectangle or this card like this. Let's change the corner radius of this rectangle for all sides to 5. Go over to stroke. We're going to add a stroke, and the color for this stroke is going to be FFF 7EF. So 7EF, which is the same color with our background. Now we're going to also change the weight of the stroke to be 6, and we'll have this image. Next up is our text. I'm going to click on T, and I'm going to just type out the name Strawberry Delight. I'm going to change the typography of this. Let's change the font first. This is going to be Baloo 2. Size is going to be 18. And the line height is going to be 26. I'm just going to bring it here. Next up, we're going to need an icon. So I'm going to, let's make this medium. It looks a bit light. So I'm going to change the weight of the name of our dessert to medium. Let's insert an icon next. I'm going to right click, go over to plugins, and I'm going to run Iconify. That's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to search for hearts, and I'm going to use this option. Let's see, this one, solar hearts bold. So I'm just going to grab it and drag it and drop it into our frame. I'm going to change the dimensions to 20 by 20, and I'm going to bring it here. The color, the fill for this, I could just use my eyedropper tool and just select from the background to change it. Oops, it should be selection colors. I'm going to use my eyedropper tool to select from the background so we can use the same very light cream color for that. Next up is going to be a line. So I'm going to click on L, and I'm just going to draw a line here. The width of this line is going to be 80, and I'm going to come over to the settings here. So for the stroke, let's select it. We're going to change it to this color as well. For the, come over here to advanced stroke settings, and I want to use a dashed line, and I want the dash to be 4. Can go ahead and close that. Now create another copy of this line and bring it to the right side of this heart. Select all 3, make it an auto layout. Alignment should be center. It's fine as it was. I'll just change it to be center, and the gap, I want it to be 7 on both sides. And we have this. I'm going to grab a copy of this text box so I can reuse it. So this, I'm going to change the font to Nonito. The weight is going to be regular. The size is going to be 16. And the line height is going to be 24. Now I can go ahead and grab our description text. I'm going to go over to my notes, and I'm just going to grab this short text, copy it, and then paste. I'm going to change the width of this to 249. And now I can select all of these elements, the text and the image. Don't select the card, make it a frame. The alignment should be center. You can even make it center. Anyone of the center options will work. The gap for these items is going to be 5. I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to align this frame to the center, both the horizontal and vertical center of our card. And we are done with the first card. We're going to leave it as it is. Now when we're done, we can group everything. So this is our first card. Let's now work on the second card. I'm going to start with a rectangle and I'm just going to draw one. Oops. Around here. Let's change the width. The width is going to be 285 and the height is going to be 334. I'm just going to move it so it's aligned with this other one. Next, we're going to need an ellipse. So I'm going to click on O and I'm just going to come very close here and I'm just going to hold shift down to have one like this. Let's change the dimensions to 22 by 22. I'm going to, let me zoom out. I'm going to create multiple copies of this. So I want a total of 9 of these ellipses. So I'm just going to create more of that. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm going to select all of this. And the spacing I want for them is going to be 14. And what I'm going to do now is essentially center this group of ellipses like this and then align it to the middle. I'm going to zoom out, hold Alt and Shift, create another set of copies and then align it similarly to what we have on top. I'm going to come over to this side. I can just create a copy of this one, hold Alt and Shift. So for this set, we want a total of 8 of these circles. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to create 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to select all 8 of these. I'm going to change their spacing to 16. And then I'm going to align it to the middle of this rectangle as well. And then make sure that you are aligning it to the center point of the ellipses like this. So you are aligning the edge of the rectangle to the center of the ellipses while aligning it to the middle, all of them to the middle of the rectangle. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift, create a row of copies and also align it just like I have, like that. Now I'm going to select all of this. Now we're going to come over here to the merge or Boolean operations. I'm going to select subtract, and there you go. You're going to have this shape that looks like this. Now let's change the color of this entire new shape. So I'm going to change it to CF E1 FF. And yeah, we're going to have this. Now I can just hold Alt and Shift and then create a copy of this, align it to the center of this rectangle. Now it's behind. I just want to make sure it's aligned to the center. It's behind. No worries. You can either go to the selection here or use your right square bracket to bring it to the front. And now we're going to have this. I'm going to modify the image for this. Let me bring it in. Let me just bring it here. Now the width, remember for the other one, I believe it was 170. Yeah, 170 by 120. So I'm going to change the width to 170 and I need to change the height. So I'm just going to double click and I'm going to increase it to 120. And I'm going to increase this. Select the rectangle, go over to corner radius. We're going to change the corner radius to 5. Let me close this. And we are going to add a stroke. The color of the stroke, I could just use the eyedropper tool and select from our background because the background is the same color with our stroke. So I'm just going to change it to that. The weight is going to be 6. And I'm just going to close this. Now I'm going to select the image, cut it, come here, Control Shift R to paste and replace. Next up is going to be the text. So I'm just going to grab the text. This is Chocolate Dream. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste, and I'm going to come over here, copy this and then paste. I'm just going to remove this. I want to see something. I just noticed that it felt like my text was a bit too dark. That is because I didn't change my text. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to change the color of my text. I'm going to select this to where it's black is going to be our text color. So I can just select this, use the eyedropper to come to this text, and I can just use the color picker or the eyedropper tool. I don't know what Figma calls it, but it's either the color picker or the eyedropper tool. And then I'm going to change the color to that brown color, which is 4D to the 1C. All right, now we can move on to the next card. I'm going to insert a rectangle, so I'm going to click on R and I'm just going to have one go across all three columns. So the height of this is going to be 67. And once again, I'm just going to zoom in and then select this radius, drag it till you have this rounded rectangle like this. So the corner radius is 33.5. I'm just going to increase it so it's aligned to the other rectangle or the other card. And then I'm going to create a total of 5 copies. So I'm holding Alt and Shift just in case I want to make sure. I'm going to select all of them. So the spacing for that is 0. We'll now go to the merge options and then I'm going to select union, and now we have a single shape. Let's go to fill, and now we can change the fill. So FFE89C is the color. So we have this. Once again, select this and I'm going to bring it till it's aligned to the center like this, and I'm going to use my right square bracket to bring it to the front, or you could use the selection panel to do that. Let's grab our image for this. So it's going to be this one. I'm going to bring it in. The width is going to be 170 and I'm going to change the height to 120. So I'm going to double click and height is going to be 120. And I'm just going to move this image. Let's see here. Escape to close that. Go over to corner radius. Make the corner radius for all sides 5. We're going to add a stroke. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to just select the background to get the color. And then the weight of the stroke is going to be 6. I'm going to close this. Select the image. I'm going to cut it. Come over here. Control Shift R to paste and replace. Next up is our text. I'm going to copy the text and paste, and then I'm going to copy the description text, copy, and then I'm going to paste and replace, and we are done with this card. We're going to move on to the final one. We're going to start with a rectangle, so I'm going to click on R and I'm just going to draw one here. The width of this rectangle is going to be 250 and the height is going to be 290. So I'm just going to change that and I'm just going to sort of place it here. Next up, we're going to need an ellipse. So I'm just going to click on O. I'm just going to come here and just insert. Dimensions for this is going to be 36 by 36. And I'm going to place this at the top left corner. So I'm going to align the center of the rectangle to the top left corner of our the center of our ellipse to the top left corner of our rectangle. And I'm going to create copies of this. So I'm just going to hold Alt and Shift and create copies while keeping it aligned just like this. And one more. So this one, I think it's actually off center. So what I'm just going to do is select all of it and I'll just move it so that I have all of them aligned to the center of this rectangle. You can also group if you want to make it easier to work with. I'm going to zoom out, create another set of copies and also align it. Now I'm going to come here and I'm just going to create another set of circles here. And I'll just keep going till I've covered this entire side like this. Let me see, one more, so it's not going to fill. No worries. What I'm just going to do is select all of this. Let me see how many. So 4 px. What I'm going to do is move these ones here. 1, 2. Select these ones here and move it 1, 2 times to the top. And now we're going to go back to these circles, select all of them, and then align it to the center there, in between the circles, and also in between. How do I explain it? The center of your circles are going to be aligned to the right edge of these rectangles, similar to what I have here. I don't want to deselect so that I'll be able to copy it. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift, and then I'm going to create another set of copies and then align it just like this. I should have something that looks like this. So I'm going to select all of them, all of these new shapes, and then go to the Boolean options, and we're going to select Union. Let's change the fill of this new shape. So the color is going to be BFF5E3. And I'm going to, this shape is actually not the same size, so I'm just going to first of all align it to the top here. And if you want, you can also just increase the height so that it's the same. You can also reduce the width because the width also is not the same. So we have a new shape, you can just move it around so it can fit. I'm going to select this image and text, and I'm going to bring it here. Now I'm going to use my right square bracket to bring it to the top. Let's grab our final image. I'm going to bring it here, bring it into our frame. Let's start with changing the width. The width is 170. And then I'm going to change the height to 120. So I'm going to double click, and then I'm going to reduce the height to 120. Let me get closer. 120, and I'm just going to hold Shift and move this. Close this. Next, change the corner radius to 5. We're going to add a stroke, change the color of the stroke to the same color as the background, and we're going to change the width to 6. Select the image and then Control Shift R to paste and replace. I'm going to come over to my notes to grab my text. I'm going to copy it and paste. Copy the description, copy, and then I'm going to paste it. Now we're just going to select the 2 items individually, and then we're going to group. Select this to group. Oops. Select this to group, and then I'm going to select this to, and then I'm going to group. Now select all 4 of them and then group. Select this to, we're going to make the spacing 40. Let's add the final detail underneath these cards. What I'm going to do is start with an icon. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to plugins and I'm going to run Iconify. I'm going to search for cupcake. And I want to use this one. And I'm just going to grab it and bring it into our frame. I'm going to change the dimensions to 80 by 80. And I'm just going to bring it sort of around here. Next up is going to be a text. So I'm going to copy my text before. So I'm going to copy this and then click on T. And then I'm going to paste. So for our text, I'm first of all going to change the alignment to left. I'm going to change the font to Cherry Bomb 1. And the size is going to be 24. Line height is going to be 32. I'm going to change the fill. So I can either, let me just use the color picker, and I'm going to use the same color we're using for the text here. So 4D, 2D, 1C. And let me get closer. I'm going to create a copy of this text. Let's change typography. So the font is No.9. The size is 18 and the line height is 26. I'm going to grab the text. I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to paste. I want my text to be on 2 lines. So I'm just going to, let me see, increase it till, let's say right around here, something like this. So the width is 368 if that's something you want. I'm going to select this two, make it a frame. The gap between two of this is going to be 0. Let's insert another text. So I'm just going to click on T and this is going to be view menu. View menu. Next up, I'm going to change the typography. I'm going to change the font is going to stay as No.9. Size is 1826. We're going to just change the width to medium. Let's insert an icon next before we create our frame. So right click and I'm going to go to plugins. We're going to run iconify. I want arrow. And the arrow I want to use, let me see. Okay, this is the one I want to use, the one from Mackie. And I'm just going to bring it in. Let's change the fill, or let me just bring it here. I really can't see it. So we're going to change it back again. But for now, I'm just going to change it to black so that we can see it. I'm going to select both of these items and I'm going to make it a frame. Let's go over to gap, make the gap 10. The padding for the left and right is going to be 20. The padding for the top and bottom is going to be 10. Corner radius is going to be 10. Let's add a fill. I'm going to change the fill to FD6187. And while we're selected on the frame, I'm just going to select whatever is black here. It's going to be both go over to selection colors. Whatever is black here is the text color and the arrow color. So I'm going to change this to FE, FE, FE. And we have this button. I'm going to create a copy of this button. This is going to be view online. I'm going to select this icon, right click, and we are going to go to plugins, run iconify. I'm going to search for bag. And the bag I want is from PH. So I could just go to icon sets and I'm going to find it. This one. And the one I want to use is bold. Okay. This one. The icon set is it force 4, I think. So this one that says bold, select it and then replace icon. And now I'm going to close this. We're going to select this frame. Let's add a stroke. And the weight of the stroke is going to be 2. The color of the stroke, I'm going to use my color picker and I'm going to select the fill of the frame and then go over to fill, remove the fill. While we're still selected on the frame, this color that is FE, 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 we still want to use the same color here. So I'm going to copy it and then paste, and then we're going to change the colors. Select this. Oh, this is not view online, is shop online. Shop online, not view online. Select this too. Make it a frame, and the gap is going to be 10. Now what I'm going to do is select all of these 3 frames or these 2 frames and then this icon, make it an auto layout, change the, okay, for me the alignment is center to the left, that's fine. I'm going to make the gap between all of these items 20 and I'm going to align this to the center of my frame like this. Now select this group, select this section, make the spacing 40 and I could just reduce the height of this frame till we have the same spacing, 80 on top and 80 on the bottom. I just want to make one change. Let me make this the width of this sometimes even just a little bit. Let me make it 254 because I'll prefer the text to all be on tree text because it feels a bit weird. Let me select this entire frame, make it all content. Now I'm going to realign it to the center. I'm going to select all of the contents because they are all aligned, and I'm just going to bring it down so it's on the center again. So I'm just changing the alignment because I prefer, because all of these were three lines, this was four, and it just didn't make sense. But anyway, that is it for this. I can either run the prototype so we can see it in the prototype view, or we could just remove the layout guide. I will leave the layout guide. Let's just run the prototype view so we can see this section in the prototype view. All right, so this is what it looks like. I'm just making it full screen so we can see the entire thing. So we can say for a website, this is more like a menu highlight section for our website. But anyway, that is it for this cards design. If you want to watch longer or similar content to this, you can either check out the description box below to the video links or links to courses, or you could click on the video on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.